Alright, this video we'll do an overview of the Stug 3B. This is early Sturmgeschütz, leads up to the G model Stug 3. This is a tier 4 German tank destroyer. I've got it in its default configuration as you'll get it. It's got the real short, stubby 75mm L24 gun on there. Reason that thing's so short, it's not really an anti-tank gun. These were initially made as assault guns, not tank destroyers, for the Wehrmacht. And these were classed more as artillery for infantry support. So they would use these stubby guns against bunkers, pillboxes, buildings, just supporting the troops until they started running across the heavier tanks that they did not know Russia had at the time. So they needed something quick, and they started putting the bigger anti-tank guns on these things. But this is the early model, and like I said, this is how you'll get it. We'll put the 75mm Pak 39 on it, but there is another one. It's a 105. You don't really want to use that. It's it's shorter range, lower velocity, which means less penetration and damage. So longer barrel, a little bit smaller round, but you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck out of this thing. Now this is the anti-tank configuration, and while the short gun will work on tanks, its penetration is very bad on it. But this thing here, you can stand against a few enemy tanks with it. But we'll look at some specs here. Engine location. Of course, the 75mm Pak 39 main gun. Radio location. Different than in the Stug 3G. Ammo stores. And crew placement. Armor thickness. For a tier 4, okay frontal armor. Of course, has any tank side armor, rear armor. You don't want to let anybody get behind you there. This has limited sloped armor. You can see on the upper sections here. You get hit there, you can deflect shots. Lower plate, not so much. But we'll take it onto the proving grounds and see it in action. If you go through the German lines, this is one of the earlier enclosed tank destroyers you'll come across, as opposed to the open designs like the Martyr 2 and Martyr 3. Once you get into these, your gun traverse side to side is much more limited than the open top designs. And while this one is earlier modeled than the Stug 3G, this one has a slightly lower profile, so your concealability is a little better. That's the only thing better on this one. When you can get the G, definitely go for it.
Enemy exposed. That's another kill for our team. Reloaded. enemy base. Bounced right off it. Looks like we're shooting spitballs. Reloaded.
I'm thinking I may do a second part to this video, actually showing the shorter gun on it, because there are several tanks you'll go through that will have that.
Penetration. They're hit. We're capturing the enemy base.
And I was saying I would do that to show you how much better that gun is, but I'm not having a whole lot of luck with penetration on this guy.
That one did some damage. Nice shot. Another one down. Best job I ever had.
All right, we'll do a second. We'll do a second half on this same video. All right, and this will be the second half, showing the Stug B, Stug 3B in its default configuration with the 75mm L24 gun. To get much out of this gun, you're going to have to get a little closer, as opposed to the longer 75mm anti-tank gun. See, I basically did nothing to him at all with that thing. I prefer my Stug 3G over this one whenever I play online matches, but I keep this one just because I'm a fan of the Sturmgeschütz tanks, or tank destroyers, assault guns. So it's kind of like, I guess, a collection type thing. So you have to lead them a lot more too with this thing at such low velocity.
Penetration. Enemy vehicle eliminated.
Higher velocity guns, you'll see the shells whizzing through the air. This thing, they say it looks like we're shooting spitballs. Well, this shell looks like it just floats through the air to its target. These guns are really set up to shoot HE, high explosive shells, so we'll switch over to HEs. Basically use it as a short range point blank artillery gun.
Taking the enemy base.
Not very good against armor, but that's what these were historically designed for in the assault gun role. We'll go back to AP. Alright, I guess. Well, I was gonna have one on each end of me here. Get shot in the ass while I'm dealing with the other one.
Scratch another bad guy. We're capturing the enemy base. Great job, men.
And that's the Stug 3B.